All right, hello, welcome back, everybody. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. So, we actually broke two records recently, but I could probably only fit one of them in the title. And those are the US nighttime or low point of the 24-hour period demand record for the electricity grid and US day-by-day natural gas demand. Over the past week or so, much of the US was under exceptionally cold weather by the standards of most. My standards are skewed into saying it wasn't cold because I'm from Alaska. I'm just trapped down here in the regular US. But for the normal US, it was pretty cold, especially for the southern portions where it rarely ever goes below like 50 degrees in the winter. And so that spiked heating demand across the country in both of the primary forms, the two most dominant ones, which is gas heating, gas furnaces, and electric heating via heat pumps, which are kind of useless because if you get down to like the 30s Fahrenheit at all, even close to freezing, then they lose their claim to efficiency because they don't actually really work below that temperature, and they have to switch over to essentially becoming a giant toaster, aka using resistance heating, which uses a lot more electricity than the heat pump system, which is just an air conditioning system running in reverse. But anyways, from the electricity demand angle, you'll see not just in the US, but if you looked at a live grid oscillation like this of any country, you would see this similar pattern of ups and downs over the course of any given day, as obviously most places, most workspaces, most stores, businesses, and everything open up during the day. So that's a whole bunch of additional power that's being used during the day than would be used otherwise. And the low point is usually around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning when the most people are asleep and most stuff is shut off. Although in the winter, those low points don't go as low because then that's the time of night where it's the coldest and thus the most heating demand is needed. However, those low points would still not be all that high. In the winter, they usually only go down to like the mid 400s. However, as population in the US continues to increase and also switching over to electric heating, including in regions where that is really unadvisable, this has gradually seen higher and higher nighttime low points during certain cold portions of the winter, including this one where the record was broken, the previous record being set a couple winters ago, only going down to as low as 571 gigawatts of active demand load on the grid. And this time, a few days back, the active US grid demand load was at the lowest point of that day in the middle of the night because of the cold temperatures, was then still all the way up at just under 590 gigawatts. And since I know the question will probably come up, the highest high point of electricity demand on the US grid at any given point was set back in the summer of 2023 at 743 gigawatts at about 5 p.m. in the afternoon on one particularly hot summer day back in 2023. For natural gas demand, both from increased power demand from natural gas fired power plants because of the increased electricity demand, along with the increased heating demand from all the gas fired furnaces, US day by day natural gas demand on that same day reached its previous record by 10 billion cubic feet, with the previous record being set back during that super winter storm, the one that knocked out Texas back in 2021, and that had gone up to 167 billion cubic feet. This time it came in 10 or 11 higher, hitting about 178 billion cubic feet. So that's it for this one. It was just a quick news blip update, sort of. Thanks everybody for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me. Only do so if you actually can. There's a link in the description to a Google Drive with all kinds of different graphs and charts and data compilations across all kinds of different subjects and metrics. There's a link to my photography Instagram and a link in the top pinned comment to my cat's YouTube channel. May God bless and protect all of you, and I will see you all around next time.